My name is Conor Neill and I have the privilege of teaching here at IESE Business School. My course is on leadership communication, the art of moving people to action through your words. Manipulation is getting somebody to do something that's of interest to me. Persuasion is about looking at what is interesting to that person and helping them get something that's of interest to them but is also of interest to myself. So persuasion is really about getting to know what other people's desires, how they're seeing the world, what's important to them, what goals they aspire to. And if you can help someone else aspire to a big goal, you can help them overcome obstacles. So I think when you find someone who's bored with life or the smallest obstacle stops them, it's often because they haven't got a clear sense of where they're trying to get to. So often persuasion is helping an audience see why it's important to them to make the effort, to climb the mountain. At the age of 14, my parents sat myself and my sister and two brothers down and told us we were going to move to Chicago. And I found myself leaving behind friends that I'd known since I could remember, a school of 300 people, and moving to Chicago. We went to a school that had 4,000 people just in high school. And I spoke the same language, but they did not understand me. I dressed in clothes that were cool for Ireland, but they were not cool in Chicago. And for me, it was a real brutal blow to go from seeing yourself as cool and being treated as if you're someone to being just a nobody, an outsider, and a strange outsider as that. And I play football, soccer, not an American sport, so I played a sport that Mexicans played. I was good at maths, so I was in classes with Koreans and Japanese and Chinese. That move to Chicago, I met the teacher that had most impact on my life, Mr. Matz. Mr. Matz is a biology teacher, and he started the class holding up the textbook and saying, at the end of this year, if you've learned everything in this book, you're worth $30 more. This course is not about learning everything that's in the book. If at the end of this year you're curious about life, about systems, about how things cause and affect, and that curiosity opens your mind, you're worth infinitely more. That's what this course is about. There was several things that Mr. Matz did that I still have as habits in my life today. One is writing every day. He had the whole class sit for 5 minutes. Only rule, pen touches paper. Write whatever you want, but pen touches paper in your journal every day. Since I was 14, I've written every day where I am, what I'm doing, what I see. The thing that really shook up my worldview age 14, one week we were given a homework, and it was quite interesting, so I got into this homework. On the Friday, we all handed it in. On the Monday, sitting in class, we were given the homework back with the red grade written on it. And I turned over this homework that I had given in, and Mr. Matz had put 11 out of 10. And my worldview of school was kind of simple. There's an A, and you figure out what the rules are, and if you want an A, you go for it, and if you don't, you know what the rules for a B are. And here I was looking at a page that a teacher had given me 11 out of 10. To my Irish 14-year-old mind, this was going to break the system. In fact, it took me 3 days to build up the guts to go up to him and say, "You've made a mistake. You've given me 11, there's only 10. And I remember when I brought it up and I stood next to him and I said, "You gave me 11. He looked at me and he said, 10 was for the best. I thought someone would do this. You went beyond what I had expected." Oh my God, there's a grade beyond an A. And in fact, an A is an arbitrary decision of somebody. And that moment of seeing that an A is arbitrary, a grade is arbitrary, you doing what you see as right, you doing what is good, there's always your own version of an A that's better. IESE is a global school with campuses in New York, Munich, Madrid, Barcelona, activity all through Latin America, Africa, all across the world, and very close connections with schools in China, in the US, with Harvard. So this to me is a meeting point of global thinking. You walk into a room, I walk into a classroom, and there's 70 people from 55 different nationalities. There's a Chinese girl who ran transport logistics back in China. There's a German who spent 2 years in London working as an investment banker. There's a Brazilian who runs his family business. And the perspectives they bring, I think my ability to understand globalization is by watching the interaction in that room. What I most enjoy is seeing the potential that there is in the enormously talented people that come here, and giving them the tools to sometimes just be able to block out the distraction, to block out things that pull them away, to be able to say no to things that are not helping them build on the thing that will be important. And so that at 40 and at 60, they can tell you what they've done, not what they could do.